I'll be honest, this is one of the hardest things I've ever admitted out loud. People judge parents so quickly when it comes to money, inheritance, and the choices we make about our kids. And maybe they're right too. Maybe I am the villain here. But I want to tell my story the way it really happened. I'm a 67-year-old widow. My husband, Richard, passed away 15 years ago from a sudden heart attack. I was 52 when it happened. We had built a modest but stable life together, a 3-bedroom house that we paid off, a little piece of land outside town that was supposed to be for retirement, and a savings account that we both contributed to faithfully. Nothing extraordinary, just enough to live comfortably and hopefully pass something on to our children. We had 3 kids, Michael, David, and Emma. From the very beginning, I tried to be a fair mother. I wanted to give each child the same opportunities, the same support, the same love. But life doesn't always go the way you plan, does it? Michael, the oldest, was my husband's pride and joy at first. Smart, outgoing, always full of ideas. But after high school, he lost direction. He started college, dropped out, tried starting a landscaping business, then moved across the country chasing some girlfriend, then came back broke and angry. Every time he fell down, he came running to me. And every time, I picked him up. I can't even count how many times I drained my savings to bail him out. Late rent, car repossessions, even credit card debt. He always promised it was the last time. Mom, just this once, I swear. But of course, it never was. Over the years, I gave him more than $80,000. $80,000 that was supposed to be for my retirement, for my security. Do you think he ever paid me back? Not a single dollar. Not even a thank you most times. David, the middle one, is different. He's responsible, has a steady job, married with kids. But if I'm being brutally honest, he's also greedy. When Richard died, the very week of the funeral, David cornered me in the kitchen and asked, "So are you selling the house now? How much of that will be ours?" I was stunned. His father wasn't even in the ground yet, and he was already talking about money. I told him the house wasn't for sale, it was my home. His response, "You're hoarding what should belong to us." Those words cut me deeper than I can describe. From then on, almost every conversation with David had some undertone about money. If I bought myself something nice, he'd say, "Well, must be nice spending our inheritance." He started seeing me less like a mother and more like a wallet holding his future. And then there's Emma, my youngest. She was only 19 when her father died. She had to grow up fast. She stayed with me through those first dark years of grief. She helped with the house, drove me to appointments, even took a part-time job while in college so she wouldn't have to ask me for money. She's never once treated me like an obligation or a bank account. When I had surgery on my hip, she moved back home temporarily just to help me recover. When I caught COVID last year, she brought me groceries, set up a little bell by my bed so I could ring if I needed her, and called every single morning to check on me. She never asked for anything in return. That's the thing. Emma never asked. She just gave. So when it came time to write my will, I knew what I had to do. I sat with my lawyer and said, I want everything to go to Emma. The house, the savings, the land, all of it. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't favoritism. It was gratitude. When Michael and David somehow found out, they exploded. Michael yelled, calling me a selfish old witch. David accused me of letting Emma manipulate me. They said I was erasing them from the family, that I was ruining sibling relationships forever. But here's the part they don't know. Emma has no idea. I haven't told her. She doesn't expect it. She's never asked for it. And honestly, she would probably feel guilty if she knew. And yet, at night, I lie awake wondering, am I wrong? Am I letting my hurt feelings toward Michael and David cloud my judgment? Should I still split everything 3 ways just to avoid being called unfair? Or is it finally okay to reward the child who has actually been there for me, who loves me without conditions, who doesn't treat me like a bank account? That's my story. That's my dilemma. So am I the asshole for leaving my entire inheritance to only one child? When the truth came out, everything in my family changed overnight. It wasn't me who told Michael and David about the will. Someone must have gone digging, maybe through a careless comment from my lawyer's assistant. I don't know. But one evening, I got a phone call from Michael, and he was already screaming before I could even say hello. "So you're giving Emma everything?" he shouted. "What kind of sick favoritism is that?" I tried to calm him down. I said, "Michael, it's not favoritism. You've had more help from me than both your siblings combined. I've given you," but he cut me off. "That was loans, Mom. Loans. You don't just erase me because you're bitter I couldn't pay it back right away." Not right away. It's been 20 years. The very next day, David showed up at my house without calling first. He was furious, red in the face, pacing my living room like he owned it. "Mom, this is insane," he said. "You're tearing the family apart. Do you realize what this will do? You're setting us up to hate Emma for the rest of our lives." I looked him in the eye and said, "I didn't set this up. You and your brother did. By the way you've treated me all these years." That's when David dropped the cruelest line of all. "No wonder Dad died young. He probably couldn't stand the way you play favorites." It felt like someone stabbed me in the chest. After that, the calls and visits became constant. Michael called me every other night, either begging or raging. One night he cried, saying, "You don't understand, Mom. I'm the one who needs it most. Emma's fine without it. Don't you care if I end up on the street?" David took a different approach. He tried guilt. He brought his kids over, had them hug me, and said things like, "Grandma, don't you want to make sure we have a future too?" He even told his wife to talk to me privately, saying how hard it would be for her to manage without financial support down the line. It became relentless. But the worst part? They started dragging Emma into it. Michael called her directly, accusing her of brainwashing me. He told her she was stealing from him, that she had manipulated me into turning against my own sons. Emma was horrified. She had no idea what he was talking about. She called me in tears, saying, "Mom, what is happening? Why is Michael saying you're leaving me everything?" In that moment, I broke. I told her the truth. I admitted that yes, my plan was to leave everything to her. She went silent. Then she said, "Mom, I never wanted this. Not like this. I just wanted to take care of you. That's all. Now they're going to hate me forever." Her voice was shaking. And I realized my choice, which I thought was simple and fair, was ripping Emma apart too. Now I'm stuck in the middle of a storm. On one side, 2 sons who see me as a bank they've been unfairly cut off from. On the other, a daughter who never asked for a penny, now being accused of greed and manipulation. And then there's me, an old woman who just wanted to leave behind some peace of mind, but instead created a war. Everywhere I look, I feel guilt. If I give in and split everything evenly, I feel like I'm rewarding years of selfishness. If I stand firm, I risk losing Michael and David forever. And if I keep Emma as the sole heir, she'll carry the burden of being blamed for all of it. So now I ask myself, was I blind to how messy this would get? Did I make the mistake of thinking inheritance was about fairness, when it's really about feelings? Or do I hold my ground and let them hate me, just so at least one child, the one who truly cared, knows she mattered? I don't know anymore. All I know is that my family feels broken in a way that might never be fixed. After weeks of fighting, I finally realized something. No matter what I did with my will, somebody was going to be angry. There was no version of this story where everyone walked away happy, hugging each other, and calling me the best mom in the world. I think I knew that from the start, but hearing it out loud, admitting it to myself, was crushing. Michael kept calling, sometimes shouting, sometimes sobbing. David showed up again, this time with his wife, demanding I reconsider before it's too late. And Emma, poor Emma, she begged me to change it. Not because she wanted less, but because she couldn't stand being hated by her brothers. "Mom," she said quietly one night over the phone, "please don't do this. I don't want them to resent me forever. Just split it. It'll be fine." Her words broke my heart. Imagine your child asking you not to give her the very thing you thought she deserved most, just to protect her from being attacked. That night, I stayed up until sunrise, sitting at the kitchen table with my husband's old photo in front of me. I asked him out loud, "Richard, what would you do? How do I make this right?" Of course, no answer came. Just silence. And then I remembered something he used to say whenever we fought about the kids. People show you who they are by how they treat you when you have nothing to give them. Michael and David have shown me who they are. For decades. Demanding, entitled, transactional. They love me when my wallet is open. They rage when it's not. Emma showed me who she is too. Selfless. Caring. She doesn't want my money. She wants peace. So here's what I decided. I didn't split everything evenly. I couldn't. That would mean erasing years of pain, pretending none of it mattered. But I also didn't leave Emma burdened with being the sole heir. I rewrote the will. Emma gets the house, the one place filled with our memories. She'll never have to worry about a roof over her head. The savings, what's left of them, will be divided into smaller shares for all three, so nobody can say they were completely cut out. The land, honestly, that was always Richard's dream, not mine. I donated it to the local community to turn into a public garden. Something good, something no one can fight over. When I told my children, the reactions were exactly what you'd expect. Michael called it a betrayal. He said he deserved the house because he sacrificed the most. I didn't even respond. I was too tired of his games. David sneered, saying the split of the savings was laughable. He stormed out of my house and hasn't spoken to me since. And Emma? She cried. Not out of anger, not out of disappointment, but out of relief. She hugged me and whispered, "Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for giving me home." I don't know how this story will end for my family. Maybe my sons will never forgive me. Maybe one day they'll understand. Maybe they won't. But at least I can say, hand on heart, that I tried to do what felt right. Not what was easy, not what would shut everyone up, but what honored love and loyalty. I know many people will still call me selfish. Some will say I ruined my family. Others might say I finally stood up for myself after a lifetime of being used. So I leave the question to you. Am I the asshole for leaving the bulk of my inheritance to the one child who truly cared, even if it means I might die with two sons?